Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode talk of Peacemaker Season 2. I am once again late because once again I had to go to my mom's place, but that's over now. We're done, okay? My dog got her hair cut, I got my hair cut, now we're done, okay? So for the rest of Peacemaker, unless I forget, every episode will be uploaded on Friday, hopefully. At least the day that I would upload the last episode, let's just say that. Because time zones make days different, because for me this releases on Friday, but on the official thing it says Thursday, so I don't know what's happening. Anyway, we start off this episode with a burial for Rick Flag Jr., where Hardcore makes the promise to Rick Flag Sr. about the fact that, you know, whoever killed your son, I'm gonna make him pay. It's like, yeah, you will. Anyway, so back in present day at the public park, because a meeting always has to be at a public place, Hardcore tests the wire, and then we see how everyone is basically incognito in order to strike once Peacemaker decides to appear. So then Chris arrives, however, he's kind of blending into crowds, all Assassin's Creed style, which I like a lot. Like, he's walking, like he's petting dogs, he's walking next to someone who has a baby, like, all that stuff, I like it. But he makes it all the way to Hardcore, who is angry because apparently she gave a warning sign to Chris, and he ignored it. Because of the fact that he wants to know if they can be a couple, and she says no. It didn't mean anything, and he's like, is it because of the fact that I killed Rick Flag? It's like, yes. Okay, I loved him, and you killed him, so we can never really be together. And it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's the basic one. That's the one that I was thinking of as well as a reason why, one of the reasons why she didn't want to be with Peacemaker. And also why in the other universe she does want to be with Peacemaker, because Rick Flag Jr. is alive. So then, A.R.G.U.S attacks, and the first guy gets tranked in the arm, but gets taken hostage by Chris, who is about to be shot by Bordeaux. And I'm talking about her for a little bit. People online are very upset about this because she's a cyborg. A cyborg, okay? She has cybernetic implants in her body. That's what A.R.G.U.S did to her when she was in like a plane crash or something like that. But people think this is the cyborg. This is the DCU version of cyborg. No, it's not, okay? It's just a woman who has cybernetic implants. It is not cyborg, okay? First of all, half her face needs to be a robot at that point, okay? It's no, calm down. But anyway, she has a cyborg eye, and she is like, I could take the shot, however, it'll kill him. However, at that point, Hardcore then steps in, stops Chris, takes him down. Meanwhile, back at the hideout, Leona gets a call, who's with Adrian, and turns out that is for night work, if you know what I mean. So initially, she's excited until Adrian kind of just like tells it to her. It's like, oh yeah, that's night work. It's like, oh, okay. Okay, lady of the night type of work, eh? So then they go inside, and the Eagle Hunter is here. He has found the place, and he's ready to hunt good old Eagly. So then we go into A.R.G.U.S, and I like how Chris is like, hey, John. It's like, I barely know him, okay? He gets familiar with people, what can I say? I don't really know him at all. I like how he tries to go under that. Anyway, afterwards, Hardcore wants to talk to him, and she basically wants him to put Chris into the system so that Rick can't kill him, because Rick's gonna kill him. And I saw that. Like, I saw that knee attack on, like, Twitter. The entire time was my mom's place. I was, like, scrolling through Twitter, and I was like, dang, man, that's cool. Everyone was disgusted by it or felt pain from it. I was just like, yeah, it was awesome. That looks so real. That was so cool. That might have actually really been John Cena. I don't know. But basically, she wants to prevent that. And he's like, no. But then he's like, okay, because of the fact that he is just a little female dog. Meanwhile, the hunter poisons like a dead rodent and throws it for Eagly to eat. And Eagly is playing with the thing. However, then he gets called by Adrian, so he gets distracted. And then afterwards, like a fox or something like that. I don't know animals, to be honest. But anyway, I'm just gonna call that thing a fox. Ninetales appears, or maybe Vulpix. More of a Vulpix, I'd say, than Ninetales was smaller. But anyway, appears and takes the rodent with it. However, then Eagly follows it, but then eats the rodent, and then the fox dies, which calls for Eagly to be like, I am in danger. That Simpsons mean, I'm in danger. So then Flag tells everyone to leave so he can be alone with Chris, and then he starts beating him up, and he wants Chris to fight back, but Chris refuses to fight back. So then we get the knee shot. Dang, so that was a really, like, that felt real. All of the punches, I loved the way that they practically set that up. However, Bordeaux then sees that Chris has been booked by John, so she goes over. Well, she's not happy about it, but anyway, she goes over to tell that to Rick, who now has to let Chris go because you can't keep him now. Now that he's been booked, he has to leave because of the fact that they don't actually have any substantial evidence against him, and they gotta turn him over to, you know, like cops and stuff, but they don't want to do that looking like that, so they gotta let him go. So then Adrian and Leota, they go into the car in order to pick up Chris, and this is when the fox dies and all that stuff. So then the hunter opens up the case in order to get ready to kill Eagly. So then Chris gets picked up, they drive back. Meanwhile, Judo Master is also following them, and Bordeaux goes over to Rick Flag, and he's like, it was all part of the plan. What can I say? You know, I wanted him to be beat up so that he would lead Judo Master straight back. It was all part of the plan. Also, me calling you to shoot, that was part of the plan as well, because I knew that Harcourt would stop it. But it was all part of the plan. Calm down, okay? Calm down. Now that you are looking fine today. I don't know. There's some kind of romance forming between the two that I don't really care about. So then on the way home, Adrian is a little bit upset about the fact that Chris keeps talking to Leota, but not to him. Like, he keeps talking about and to her. He keeps saying her name, but not Adrian. Like, Adrian isn't even here at all. However, Chris is broken by what Harcourt said and about what Harcourt did. So he is done with this. That's what he says. So then they get back to base. Chris gets out. They want to stay, but he's like, no, I need to be alone. When they drive away, he's like, Eagly! He calls for his bird. However, Eagly is busy basically being the prime eagle and basically gathering a bunch of eagles in order to kill the eagle hunter, which happens, by the way, so that's fun. So Judo then calls base. Eagly comes home, and then Chris writes a note about the fact that, you know, he's gonna leave forever, never coming back. Goodbye forever. So then when he's done with the note, he opens up the box, and he does the thing with the box in order to close the portal, I guess. However, this time, before closing the portal, he goes through the portal. So then Judo wants to say this to base, but electrical interference kind of caused that to not happen at all. So then he writes a note as well, and is basically saying that he's gonna follow, and that's what he does. So before the portal closes, he went through as well in order to follow Peacemaker. And I feel like this is why Peacemaker has to return to our dimension, because he's gonna kind of squeal a little bit and ruin everything for Peacemaker, and that's why he has to come back. I know people want to say it's racism and all that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it is. Hey, maybe you're gonna be correct. Maybe it is gonna be racism. Who's to say? Also, before he left, he also sent Leota a text about the fact that he's leaving in that sense, so that she can come, find the note, and tell it to everyone. So then they arrive. The door is gone. So they pick up the thing, but also find out that Judo Master went after Chris. But they pick up the thing, and then they leave. And then when the whole gang is together, she reads the note in the To November Rain, which fitting song, by the way. And Chris basically in the note says he's never coming back because of the fact that Harcourt said no, and also because she was a C-word, and also that he wants them to give the dimensional box to A.R.G.U.S to clear their own names. That way everything is fixed, right? You know, they'll be able to go on with their lives. Adrian is broken by this because of the fact that he was basically Peacemaker's bestie in his own head, so his bestie left without even saying goodbye. Which, by the way, the abuse that Vigilante gets from Peacemaker, he can handle. It's just the fact that saying goodbye without counting in Adrian is what breaks him. So then Harcourt is like, no, we're not gonna give this over to A.R.G.U.S. Instead, we're gonna get Chris back, because maybe Leota remembers the combination that is needed in order to open up the portal once again. But we are gonna get Chris back. That is it. And that's how the episode ends. And overall, another fantastic episode. Another great episode. I loved it. I love the emotion. I love the violence as well. Very good. I love the whole stealth thing that Peacemaker does at the beginning of the episode. Very much a great episode, and I cannot wait. Also, in the other dimension, Peacemaker's gonna fight a kaiju. That kind of stuff happened as well, but I kind of forgot to talk about that because it mattered less for plot. That is why. But I've said it now. Probably not gonna be in spoiler talk because I'll forget about it. But anyway, overall, like I said, great episode, and I want to get into editing. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comment section down below. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications. Don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel down in the description and at the end of the video. And also a little side story that I want to say, nothing about Peacemaker though, is today I drove my bike back from my mom's place, about 23 or 25 kilometers. In that sense, 20 plus kilometers. Basically, that's how, it's an hour 15-minute bike ride. But anyway, so I was riding my bike. I was using Google Maps because I didn't want to get lost and all that stuff. So I'm riding up a hill, which was horrible. But I have an electric bike, by the way, so don't worry about it. But also, I had Shadow in like a cart behind me, so that kind of makes up for it in a way. But anyway, yeah, we were going and going and going. Then I saw on the Google Map thing that it was like, if you turn right now, it's gonna be 11 minutes slower. But you can click on that pop-up thingy and then change the route to that one. And I'm like, why would I take that route? It's 11 minutes slower. Why would I ever take that route? That's just the thing that I want to say. And also, Peacemaker is going to be back on Fridays from this point forward. So I'll see you guys Friday for another episode. Bye!